A child who looks like me. Youngo and Jian were such a beautiful couple that everyone envied their love. Suddenly, one day, Youngo discovered she was pregnant. Upon learning he was going to be a father, Jian was overwhelmed with happiness and made a plan to propose to her. Unfortunately, on his way to meet Youngo, Jian was hit by a car driven by a stranger. After the accident, Jian's memories from about 3 years ago completely disappeared. Jian's mother also took the opportunity to separate Youngo and Jian, causing her to misunderstand him even more. Could Jian regain his memory and meet his child later? In a small corner of the street, a couple was talking, looking very tense. I just need one word from you, just say that child is mine. The girl sadly looked up at the guy standing in front of her. He kept asking pressing questions, that Yenna was his daughter alone. Just say Yenna is our daughter. The girl trembled under his harshness. She pursed her lips and pondered, I'm the one who has to endure everything. Involuntarily, she slowly raised her hand and gently touched the guy's face. Why does your face show such extreme pain? Who heartlessly made this man so desperate? He grabbed her hand and earnestly begged, tell me, please. Confirm it to me. His words made her even more heartbroken. I have to say that for this man. She gently let go of her hand and chose to reveal all the secrets she had been hiding for so long. Yes, the child is yours. After hearing the words from the girl's own mouth, his heart pounded wildly. He hesitated and continued, that little girl is ours. 7 years ago, she was extremely confused when she held the pregnancy test stick with 2 clear lines in her hand. No way. How can this be? This girl was Youngo. At that time, she was just a junior in college who had just stepped into life. Youngo still couldn't accept this harsh truth. She collapsed on the table in helplessness. There must be a mistake. I don't remember. I just went out for a drink. No. Could the problem just be the alcohol? Calm down, be calm. She hugged her head and tried to remember the events of that night. Then everything started to go wrong. After drinking alcohol, Youngo and Jian had intimate moments together. He confidently promised her, I won't do that. Just thinking of that part made her face blush completely. Oh my! Thousands of questions appeared in Youngo's head. What should I say when I meet him? Will he agree to take me to the hospital? What if he gets angry? She pointed to the pile of pregnancy tests on the table and shouted, how can you be angry with that? It's Jian's fault. It's all your fault. While Youngo was at a dead end, she suddenly received a new text message. She suddenly remembered that it was time for her date with Jian, our date. Without thinking much, she quickly swept all the pregnancy tests into the drawer, but one test was still left on the table. After getting ready, she quickly went down the street into the bustling crowd. Youngo tried to look around to find Jian. A few minutes later, she finally found him. Youngo quickly called out. She happily waved to Jian. This is my boyfriend, a 4th-year college student. As soon as he saw her, he immediately asked, why are you dressed like this? Then Jian suddenly put his jacket on Youngo. We've been dating for 6 months now. The first time we met was 8 months ago. That day, when I was in Australia on a working holiday visa, I met a man while I was standing and crying in front of the Korean department store because I hadn't eaten anything for 2 days. He lent me money without hesitation when I said I was exhausted. Since then, we've met more often. He's really kind. This thoughtful man is also very reliable. He always follows and protects me, always a perfect person until now. While Jian was fixing Youngo's coat, the girl became embarrassed, so she quickly pushed his hand away and grumbled, hey, I have my own fashion sense, okay? Jian laughed and praised, it suits you very well. But in Youngo's heart, she was still troubled by thoughts, but is he perfect? And using contraception for me, that in every moment of our body's pleasure, everything is under control. She quickly brushed away those thoughts and held hands with Jian to stroll down the street. The guy turned his head and asked, do you want to go eat something? She replied with a smile, I'm full. Suddenly, Jian stopped. He made a cute face and turned to ask, did you just refuse to eat? Youngo stuttered, not knowing how to explain because she was currently feeling very nauseous. Jian stared at her face suspiciously. He gently put his hand on Youngo's forehead to see if she was sick. That caring action, plus the handsome face of a Korean guy, made her heart flutter even more. He suddenly touched both sides of Youngo's cheeks. After knowing that she was okay, Jian put his arm around her shoulder and said, "Let's go. I'll take you home." A romantic sunset at Youngo's house. Jian carefully told her to go home quickly. Taking this opportunity, she also asked him, "You should come in with me." He immediately refused. "No, you look very tired. Go home and go to bed." Youngo smiled brightly and said, "No, I'm not tired at all. I have so much energy." On the surface, she was happy, but in her heart, she was extremely distressed. "Don't go. I need to talk to you." Even though she tried every way to keep Jian, she couldn't change his decision. "I still have some things to finish, so let's meet next time." Suddenly, a male voice called Youngo's name. Jian instinctively turned his head to look. A young man waved to Youngo with a happy face. She quickly recognized that it was her senior. As a habit, he ran to pat her head and kept asking, "Hey kid, how can you not see me for a whole month, even though we're neighbors? Are you that busy?" She only knew how to answer, "Yes, I've been a bit busy lately." The senior left and teased her, "Busy dating your boyfriend, right?" And so the two talked happily without remembering Jian's presence there. As soon as that senior turned his head, he was startled to see Jian's dark and murderous face. To ensure his safety, he quickly tried to get out of this place as soon as possible. "Okay, have fun playing. See you later." Youngo also smiled and waved goodbye to her senior. "Yes, drive carefully." After the senior disappeared, the smile on her lips also disappeared. She turned to explain to Jian, "He's a senior who lives in the same building as me. His room is also near mine." But the guy ignored that and told Youngo to go in. The girl was wondering, "I thought you said you had something to do." Jian didn't say a word, making Youngo even more confused. Both slowly walked up the stairs. When she stood in front of the room, those chaotic thoughts reappeared in Youngo's mind, making her even more worried. "I don't know why he changed his mind, but this might be good for me. I need to tell him, but where to start? What if he misunderstands what I want to say?" As soon as she stepped inside, Jian rushed to hug Youngo from behind. The bag on her shoulder also fell to the floor. Jian whispered in Youngo's ear, "My Youngo is so crazy beautiful." He also made a serious face and said, "That's a big problem." Youngo humbly denied, "What? You're even more beautiful than me." Jian turned her around and asked, "What are you saying? You can never compare to my beauty." So she leaned her head on him. Her heart felt like it wanted to jump out of her chest. Suddenly, Jian leaned his face close to Youngo and said softly, "It's quite cold today. I'll help you warm up." And so the two shared a passionate kiss in the freezing snow. After a while, Youngo interrupted that happy moment, worry increasing more and more. At this moment, she wondered what emotions he would show. Youngo finally used all her courage to confess, "I have something to tell you." Jian didn't get upset but gently told her, "Just say it. Don't keep it in your heart forever." Youngo hesitated. Because she was too nervous, she clenched her coat in her hands. Then she told him, "I'm so hungry." Jian sighed in confusion. "I've been wondering why you refused to eat." "Okay, let's eat together." Youngo smiled at him with gentle eyes. And so the main chef today was none other than Jian. The two kept discussing enthusiastically, "What should we cook? I only have Kim Kai." After thinking for a while, the guy decided to show off his Kim Kai pancake. Jian flipped the egg skillfully and caught the egg perfectly, no different from a professional chef. Youngo sat watching him cook with fascination. "Even though I've seen you cook so many times, I'm still captivated like the first time." Before her sweet compliments, he smiled happily. Finally, the hot and fragrant Kim Kai omelette was served on the table. "It's done." Youngo was also excited to enjoy it. "Let's eat." Jian also didn't forget to remind his girlfriend, "You should eat more." She chewed and replied, "I've eaten a lot already. How can I eat all of this alone?" A few minutes later, the plate of food was clean without leaving anything. Youngo smiled with happiness. It's not in vain to wait. It's so delicious. Suddenly, Jian touched her forehead and asked how she was feeling now. She quickly reassured him, "I'm fine. I was fine from the beginning." Jian glanced at her warningly, "Don't hide your illness." Youngo only knew how to smile at him and then thought to herself, I've decided when everything is clear, I'll tell him. Everything will be okay. After eating, it was time for Jian to leave. She was quite surprised that he had to leave so early. The guy said, that's right, work is still waiting for me. Let me clean this up. So before leaving, he carefully washed all the dirty dishes in the house. He also put the food in the refrigerator. Suddenly, Jian's eyes seemed to bump into something. He curiously turned his head to look. Then he found something on Youngo's table that looked familiar. So Jian went to take a look. The girl didn't know anything and happily came to him and said, thank you for the coat. Taking this opportunity, he also seriously asked her, what is this? As soon as he finished speaking, Jian turned around with the pregnancy test in his hand. Youngo froze for a few seconds. Before this awkward situation, without thinking much, she ran towards Jian, then snatched the stick from his hand and nervously threw it into the drawer. With his keen eyes, he soon discovered something else. The guy pulled the drawer open forcefully, revealing countless pregnancy tests inside. What are these? Before Jian's questioning, the girl only knew how to stand silently in fear. Seeing her trembling like that, he suddenly realized that his actions were a bit too much, so Jian gently put his hand on her shoulder and comforted her. Okay, don't mind it. First, you have to calm down. It's okay. Nothing happened. We'll talk later, okay? When he got home, he put his coat on while talking. Before leaving, Jian still didn't forget to tell Youngo, I'll contact you later. After he left the room, Youngo still stood silently for a long time. It was late outside. Youngo lay listlessly on the bed. Suddenly, the phone rang. She picked it up and saw that it was a call from her love. As soon as she picked up, Youngo trembled and said, yes. On the other end of the line, Jian immediately apologized, I'm sorry. Did I wake you up? Did you put tangerines in my pocket? She sat up and replied, yes, please eat them. Jian suddenly called her name in a serious tone. Youngo, go to the hospital with me tomorrow. Youngo sat blankly for a while. She still couldn't believe that he would say these words to her. Jian kindly asked, you also need to get a pregnancy record book, right? I searched online and saw they say they would give you something like that. While talking, he fiddled with the proposal ring in his hand. Jian's care and understanding made Youngo extremely touched. Her eyes were teary as if she was about to cry because she couldn't control her emotions anymore. She burst into tears like a child. I thought you hated it. Seeing her like that, Jian became even more worried. Why would I be like that? I'm sorry. So, are you free? Let's meet and talk, then go to the hospital together. Youngo became much more excited when she unloaded the burden in her heart. She smiled happily and agreed to his proposal. Jian gently called Youngo's name again in a warm voice. She asked curiously, anything else? He smiled and planned to say, I love you. Those were the words she should have heard, but then he chose to hold back. And then finally, he only knew how to say to Youngo, good night. After hanging up, Jian kept smiling to himself. Tomorrow I have to act. It might be a bit sudden, but it will definitely be great. Although we've never done that without using protection, maybe there was a time we were careless. It's just a small mistake. Now everything has gone this far. I want to marry her as soon as possible. My dear Youngo, I will build a dream with you. I will try to become better for you. I love you. The proposal ring was also ready to be given to Youngo. Early the next morning, as soon as Jian finished showering, his phone suddenly rang with a notification. Youngo sent him a lovely text message, see you later. After reading it, Jian smiled happily. Looking at the way she texts, she must be very excited. He carefully stood in front of the mirror to fix his hair and clothes. In his head, he kept calculating the plan carefully. I need to go to the flower shop, so I should leave around 2 o'clock, he thought, planning to choose his favorite tie. Jian's mother suddenly called. As soon as he picked up, he quickly said, I'm listening, Mom. The mother had a little doubt. Are you busy? The guy honestly replied, a little bit. She sadly told Jian, how could you come yesterday without saying a word to me? I'm so sad hearing this. He only knew how to say 2 words, I'm sorry. I've been too busy lately. The mother looked at the family picture and kept complaining about Jian. You're always spinning like a top. Mom has come home and played chess and had dinner with Dad. Jian also asked a few questions. So everything is okay? The mother only sighed and recounted, nothing too bad happened to me, but a few days ago someone threw eggs at your brother's car. There are so many weird people in the world. Be careful. Jian smiled and reassured his mother, you don't need to worry about me. I need to pick her up early. There's someone I want to introduce to you. She was quite surprised after hearing this. Who is it? But Jian insisted on keeping it a secret until the last moment. Okay, I'll call you back later. As soon as he finished speaking, his mother hung up. The guy sat silently for a few seconds, then put on a very elegant suit. He didn't forget to bring the proposal ring. After preparing everything, Jian quickly left the house. He always imagined a happy family with Youngo and their unborn child. He couldn't imagine how lovely the child would be if it looked like Youngo. One day, he would let their child print their first footprints on the white snow of the first season. He would teach them how to ride a bike, holding their hand tightly to avoid all the cruelty of the world. He would look at them carefully and say that he loved them with all his life. He pressed the down button to open the elevator. Finally, the guy managed to get out of the apartment. On the way to the car, he kept looking at the watch. I'm not late, am I? While walking normally, suddenly there was a loud braking sound, making Jian curious to turn his head to look. The bright light of the headlights shone directly on his face. Everything happened too quickly, so Jian didn't have time to react. The car rushed towards him at the speed of light. In the blink of an eye, Jian was lying on the ground. The impact caused a severe head injury. Blood kept pouring out like a waterfall. No, this can't happen. Suddenly, footsteps approached. Jian, lying down, wore a baseball cap covering his face. That person suddenly asked Jian, have you ever heard the name? Jian was confused, not understanding what was going on. Before he could understand the situation, the stranger left. Jian tried to use the last of his weak strength to beg him, don't, please save me. But in response to his plea was a loud roar of the engine. He brought his trembling hands closer to his coat pocket. It seemed he didn't have enough strength anymore. It's not good. I haven't picked you up yet. What if you cry? I just want. Youngo was startled and panicked when she met Jen's mother. The woman stared at her with a murderous look. Youngo became flustered. I'm sorry, is this not young Jen's house? She immediately asked. Are you Youngo? The woman questioned. The girl nodded in response. The woman stood with her arms crossed and introduced herself. I am Jen's mother. Come in. The mother glared at Youngo with hatred. Seeing her actions, Youngo secretly despised her. She immediately took off her shoes when told to come in. You really grew up without a father, Jen's mother said with a serious expression. Youngo was scared and sweated profusely. She politely bowed and said, hello, I'm very happy to meet you. Before she could finish, the mother interrupted. What the hell are you doing trying to open other people's doors? Youngo gently explained, Jen told me the password before. She snapped back, the password has been changed. If you keep trying and can't get in, shouldn't you give up? Worried, Youngo asked, I'm sorry, but has something happened to Jen? I'm very worried about him. Her concern made the mother even angrier. She said bluntly, how long are you going to bother Jen for? I've been wondering how much of a nuisance that person is, that Jen has to complain to me. If you understand, then don't look for him anymore. As soon as she finished speaking, she turned and left. Seeing this, Youngo quickly ran after her and grabbed her hand. Mom, please, can you let me call him just one more time? She decisively shook off Youngo's hand and shouted loudly, who allowed you to call me Mom? Because of you, my son. Her lips trembled uncontrollably. Jen's mother used her last bit of kindness to warn Youngo, leave while I'm still being nice and don't bother Jen anymore. This request left Youngo stunned. At the hospital where Jen was being treated, his mother was always sitting by his side, confiding in him. The surgery was a great success, so why haven't you woken up yet? It's been 2 weeks. Didn't you say you would never let me worry? Yunai shyly appeared at the door of the hospital room. Mom, she said. As soon as she saw her, her mood brightened a bit. Oh my, you're here, Yunai. She sat down and began to ask, Have you rested at all, Mom? She tried to smile brightly and said, I'm fine, but Yunai was still very worried. Don't be like that. You'll faint at this rate. At least you have to get some nutrition in your body, so I asked a doctor I know to make it for you. She firmly reassured her, I'm really okay. Yunai was determined to coax Jen's mother to go home and rest. I think he'll wake up today. I bet he'll look for you first when he opens his eyes, so you have to look at him with a face full of energy. She smiled happily when she met such an understanding girl. She's so smart. I heard Yunai is the daughter of Judge Charch. She even received an excellent scholarship. Jen should date someone like this. She turned her head and smiled at Yunai. Okay, I'll listen to you then. Yunai happily replied, yes, Mom. Be careful on your way. She didn't forget to wave goodbye to Jen's mother. Yunai suddenly became more cheerful. She put her handbag on the cabinet and kept praising Jen's manly beauty. How can you be so handsome? Yunai sat and admired his handsome face for hours without getting bored. Should I steal a kiss? He won't know anyway. Just as she was about to act, a sudden voice rang out, startling her. So unexcused, Yunai was furious that someone dared to ruin her good deed. You almost made me faint, Park S. He curiously asked Yunai, why are you so surprised? Don't we meet often? This is Park Sangu, Jen's high school friend as well as his military comrade, the person Yunai extremely hates, and of course so does she. Yunai sighed and turned to talk to him. Why are you here, Park? He casually replied, what other reason would I be here for? Of course to visit a friend. That's right, something is very strange. Jen's accident happened at 1:10, but the call to report the discovery came at 1:30. Moreover, the caller was a man. Hearing this, Yunai was a little startled. Suu felt curious and asked Yunai, you said you were a witness to the incident, but you didn't report it immediately, did you? She tried to remain calm and explained to Suu, my phone was out of battery, otherwise I would have reported it as soon as possible. Hearing this, he felt even more unreasonable. If the phone was out of battery, you could have run to the support room to borrow a phone to call. Yunai suddenly sat up in a panic. Jen began to have unusual reactions. Suu and Yunai immediately called his name loudly. The guy took off the ventilator himself. As soon as he saw his best friend wake up, Sangu teared up and asked Jen, can you see me? Do you recognize me? He looked at Sangu with blank eyes, then gently asked, who is it? Suu was stunned. He tried to ask again, you don't know me? Park Sangu. We went to the same high school and university, and I was your squad leader in the military. We've always been close, even when you were discharged. You really can't remember anything? Are you kidding me? Jen asked blankly, the military? I went to the military?